That is not gonna happen. You're not gonna get a job like that. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna be unemployed if you do this strategy. That is what's gonna happen. Oh my God, this hurts my heart. But I had to do it. I had to do it. I didn't want to talk about this, but I'm gonna have to talk about this. These are some of the biggest mistakes I see programmers making. And together, we're gonna talk about how you cannot make these. So, let's jump right into it. Now, some of these mistakes might seem really obvious to you, but some of these mistakes might not be that obvious. Before I continue further into this video, I do want to say that we are launching a JavaScript course in a few days. This is our team working on that course right now. It's about 9:52 p.m. here in California. And we're gonna be up working until like 5 a.m. or something. And for many weeks and months to come, it's gonna be a really awesome course. It's gonna be called Profit with JavaScript. You might enjoy it, you might not. Take a look at it if you're interested. Link is gonna be in the description. Let's get back to the video, shall we? Let's do it. So, let's talk about what mistakes you need to avoid making. Stop making this mistake. Number one mistake that I see programmers make, and I see them make this all the time, and it hurts my heart. But this is where, whenever some programmer, a professional developer, whoever you want to call it, when they're given a problem, oftentimes you are going to have this urge to just start coding up the solution and start typing things in. And this thing drives me crazy. So number one, not learning problem solving. So I'm gonna type that out for here, okay? Mistake number one, problem solving. Okay. You have to learn how to problem solve, but what does this actually mean when it comes to practicality? When you see a line of code, you don't just start like attacking it. When you see a problem, you just start typing code up. That's not gonna lead to more solutions. What that's gonna lead to is it's gonna lead to a bug. Then you're gonna have another bug. Then you're gonna have another bug, and pretty soon you're gonna be in this world of bugs and you're not gonna know what to do to get out of it. Why are all these bugs becoming a part of big problem for you and the application that you're building? Primarily because you don't actually understand the problem. So take the time to really deeply understand the problem. When it comes to programming, when it comes to coding, coding is not writing code. Coding is thinking. It's crystallized thought applied to a computer machine. The boring things you're doing is actually writing the code. The thinking part is actually the most fascinating. So when you have a problem, what you need to do first is you want to take that problem and you want to break it into its component parts, okay? So take that problem, chop it up into these little component parts so you actually understand what the real problem is. Once you understand and you grasp what the overall real problem is that you want to solve, you can start whiteboarding the solution before you start writing code. Because look, here are multiple things that you are doing wrong. You're dealing with multiple complexities at the same exact time. One, it's just the inherent complexity of the coding problem that you are faced with. That's one. Two, you are dealing with the complexity of syntax while you are writing code. You're introducing all this stuff at once. So if you get a problem, you don't know if the problem is of your thought or of the code. So to distinguish that, you need to first get the problem crystal clear and solved mentally and on a whiteboard. Then bring it into Visual Studio Code or whichever is your favorite piece of, software for writing code, and then start solving it. So I'm gonna say whiteboard your solution first, and then start actually writing code. Majority of the work should be done before you start writing code, okay? I do this especially when it comes to really difficult coding problems. I apply this. When it's just something fun and I just want to have fun, I just start throwing code at it because I don't want to be disciplined, I don't want to be structured, I just want to have fun, I just want to write code. I feel you on that. But when it comes to a hard problem that you're trying to solve, maybe you're trying to integrate the Stripe API into your Django web application so people can pay you, or PayPal, or you are building whether an e-commerce store, or you're solving a problem on HackerRank or LeetCode. I cannot overemphasize how important it is to actually think before you begin to code. The reason I'm going on and on about this is because it's that important. Now let's move on to mistake number 2 that people make. And I want to help you avoid it. Please don't make this mistake. Let's jump right into it. So what is this? This is, I'm going to erase this here real quick. All right, here we go. So, mistake number 2. Okay, this is not being resourceful. What the heck does being resourceful mean, Kazi? Here's what it means. Spending weeks and months of coding a project, building a CRM, customer relationship management system, from scratch, working your ass off on an e-commerce store, and only to realize that there's already either a customer relationship management solution that exists on the internet, or 2, there's already a thing called Shopify, so you can just skip all the e-commerce stuff that you were gonna build. These are very obvious examples, and I'm sure that you're not running into those problems necessarily, but the problems I see people running into are far too obvious that there is a solution that already exists online. Somebody has solved this problem before, you didn't need to solve it. So one thing I want you to become deliberate about in your career as a developer is your skills of online research, okay? Literally become a Stack Overflow god and become a Googling god, okay? I am not exaggerating this. This is insanely important to your coding career, okay? Might sound like a joke, but become so damn good at these 2 skills that you can almost solve any new problem, because you're always going to be faced with newer problems. Because whatever application you're working on or something, there isn't going to be a tutorial that teaches you exactly how to integrate Google Maps API functionality into your specific application, whether you're hosting it with Node, or you are using Django, or you're using Laravel. Whatever stack you're using, it doesn't matter. You're going to run into specific problems that you can't solve. So how do you get past them? You have to get good at researching. Okay, so oftentimes what I would realize happens to me is I would be trying to solve lots of problems that are solved before somewhere. And this is a huge trap, because it's going to be a massive, okay? It's a massive time sink, and you're literally recreating something that already exists. Okay, so don't do that. If you research online, maybe, like for example, I'll give you an example. Instead of writing CSS on your own, use Bootstrap. Okay, there's somebody who had already done the hard work of designing beautiful things, or use Materialize for the front end. Those things are already done. So don't do stuff that makes your life difficult. Keep it simple for yourself. Maybe there's stuff that already exists on GitHub. Maybe you need to do just a little bit of more research. And you don't need to actually have to code everything from scratch. You can look up boilerplate code that exists online. You can look up, Stack Overflow code that exists online that already shows you how to solve a specific problem and integrate it into your app. No need to do this all over again. So learn how to be resourceful and become really damn good at things like Stack Overflowing things, Googling things, and GitHubbing things. Capiche? Let's continue. Now, I'm going to talk about the third mistake that I see people making. So let's talk about that, shall we? Okay, let's erase. How can I? Okay, erase all of this. Mistake number 3. All right. Not taking chances. Okay, so what does this mean? In the world of developers, what people want to do is they want this perfect path, okay? If I can draw this like perfect straight line to success, okay? Let me make it green so it's nice and successful. They just want this like easy path, but all they imagine is they're gonna spend this much time like coding, and then once they're done with coding, there's this gonna be like wonderful job that they're just gonna get right over here, and then that's it, right? So they just work on these projects, and then boom, there's this magical job that's waiting at the top of this peak, and then they're just gonna get it. That is not gonna happen. You're not gonna get a job like that. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna be unemployed if you do this strategy. That is what's gonna happen. So how can you avoid that? Okay, how can you avoid that? Don't wait for this magical job that exists at the top of the mountain. I want you to take chances the entire way. Okay, so what does that look like? I want you to apply to some place when you suck. So apply when you have just started in your coding journey. I want you to apply, you are 6 months into your coding experience. I want you to apply. You might get a job here, you might get a job as an intern. Here, you might get a job as a junior developer. Right? Apply here. 1 year into your coding experience. Apply here, 1.5 year into coding experience. Apply here, 2 years into coding experience. Apply here, 3 years into coding experience. You should be applying as many chances as you can get, because to become successful at my, when I was doing my high school ACTs, the reason why I sucked and I got a 19 wasn't because I was dumb. Maybe that might actually be the final answer, real answer. But maybe it wasn't because I was so stupid, but maybe because I didn't have the skills of taking the damn test. So in your life, if you don't have the skill of interviewing, you want to develop it while you are becoming a more badass programmer. While you're becoming a programmer, you want to pick up the skills of interviewing. So by the time you're a badass programmer, you're also a badass interviewer, right? Let's say that all of these other times you failed. Let's say you failed at this time. You failed at this time when you tried to apply it. You failed at like 1 year mark. You failed at the 1.5 year mark. You failed at this mark over here. You failed here. But maybe, just maybe, at this mark right over here, you got the job, right? Right over here, boom. But would you have been able to get this same job if you hadn't done all those previous applications? I don't know, maybe not, right? Maybe you would not have gotten this job. So I want you to just keep that in mind at all times. So you are building up your skill as a developer, your portfolio as a developer, and your interview skills as a developer. Take, this mistake, I call it mistake number 3. This is not taking chances. Okay, so that's this mistake. Make sure you are taking chances. Now, let's get into mistake number 4. Forgot to zoom in a little bit earlier, you know what I'm saying? So what is this one? Let's delete everything. Let's wipe clean all this stuff. Okay. All right, here is mistake number 4. Mistake number 4, my friend, is not working on long projects. Okay, what am I talking about? I'm talking about, what the hell did I just do? Damn, I just fucked up everything, guys. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to erase all this stuff. And let's see. Okay. Not working on long projects, right? So what does this mean? I'm talking about mega projects, okay? I'm talking about behemoths. So you wanna work on these monster projects. People make the mistake of you are doing a tic-tac-toe project here, you're doing a rock, paper, scissors project there, you are doing the to-do list app, you are building a calculator, you're going through tutorial purgatory, just rinse and repeat. You're looking up every tutorial by DevEd. I love that guy, DevEd. DevEd, you're awesome if you're watching this video, my man. You're a cool ass dude. But you're watching every DevEd video. You're watching every Brad Traversy Media video. You're watching all of these videos online and building these small, tiny, mini projects all day long. And the problem is you could work on 30 projects, 100 projects, but that's not impressive at all to your potential employer or person who is recruiting. What they're looking for, right? What's the realistic scenario that's actually happening at a software developer company? They are working on one project. Trello is working on Trello, one project. Facebook is working on Facebook, one project. Uber is working on Uber, one project. They're all working on one project. Instead, you are going around like you're spending time, right, into like, if we had like a bar chart or something, right, and you were thinking about like the time you're spending on a project, you have like one project here, this like little guy, then you worked on another to-do list app project, then you worked on like another little project, and you have like a list of these projects. Nobody cares about that. What your employer wants to see is this one project that you spend a massive amount of time working on, and it's a behemoth, okay? It's a behemoth. They care about this. Nobody gives a shit about your little tic-tac-toe fucking robot AI game. Nobody cares. So, what you need to do is focus on the big project. Stop focusing on the little stuff. So what does this mean? Take one project and work on this. So let's say that these projects, right? Let's say this was a, if I had to write here, right? These are, let's say, 1 week projects, all of them, right? I want you to think in terms of doing, whoops. I want you to think in terms of doing, if I can make this green, 1 year projects, okay? There are gonna be a few things that happen once you do this approach. What is going to actually happen is that, first of all, your coding skill is gonna improve like you would not freaking believe, okay? So how can I move this? I'll move this a little bit like there so you can see the other side of the screen. Okay, so let me write here. So a few things that are gonna happen, right, is massive increase in coding skills. So your coding skills are gonna increase out of this world. You will realize that 1 week projects don't help put you in flow mode, but when you work on one project for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, that's when you hit flow mode. That's where you make massive improvements in your projects. The other thing that you're gonna see happen is recruiters are gonna be impressed, all right? They wanna see you work on these long thought out projects. That's what's going to impress them. One project that shows your code. This is going to show your documentation skills. This is going to show your skills of writing clean, effective, scalable code. How do you make an application that's secure? How do you make an application that has a beautiful front end? You can't do this with 1 week project. This requires so many things for you to build it. You are going to have to integrate all of those things into one thing. The benefit of this is you are going to be way more focused, and you're going to have your recruiters that are going to be impressed, and people who are willing to or looking to hire you are going to be much more likely to hire you, right? What's going to be more impressive if you were trying to apply to freelancing clients? What will be more impressive? Showing them 100 little tiny projects, or showing them one massive project that you worked on, right? And just linking them that. It's your thing that you're the most proud of. So pick things that you can work on the side or whatever for 6 months to a year. That's how you build amazing applications. That is something that I'm a huge believer of. So there you have it. These are the top 4 mistakes. I will write them down all here just to recap so you can see them all in one place. Okay. Okay. So let's go here. Mistake number 1 is not problem solving. Okay. Think before you write code. Mistake number 2 is not being resourceful. Mistake number 3 is not taking chances. Apply often. And mistake number 4, not doing long mega projects. Okay. I'm sorry, that is running across a little bit. Did not see that. Okay, there you have it, my friends. These are the 4 biggest mistakes that I see developers making all the time. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. Again, just a quick reminder, we are, if you enjoyed these things and you are like, hey, I want to work on like some long projects, and you're like, hey, I want to learn how to be more resourceful and I want to increase my problem solving skills, then, if you're serious about it, and maybe you're interested in JavaScript as well, my team and I, right? My team is sitting right over here. Aaron just left a little bit earlier, and he's gonna come back, and we're gonna be just cranking this thing out and making it one of the most best, amazing courses on JavaScript. It's gonna be called Profit with JavaScript, and our goal is to help you, one, with technical skills and mastering them. So, you're talking about APIs, you want to talk about Ajax, you want to talk about ES6, you want to talk about advanced JavaScript, you want to talk about DOM manipulation and DOM traversing, and you want to talk about all that technical stuff. We got you covered. We're going to do all of that. We're going to also talk about like all the amazing productivity tools that you can have as a web developer. You want to talk about ZSH, you want to talk about Alfred, you want to talk about all those fancy things, right? We'll talk about them. We'll talk about VS Code and how to make your VS Code look beautiful. We'll talk about that in this course, all right? We'll talk about all of it. So, those things interest you, and you want to become a freelance developer, you want to learn how to make an income from coding, the link is going to be below. We're going to be releasing it during Black Friday. So if you missed a chance during Black Friday, 1, the price of it is going to go up after that. 2, we're going to close the course down. So we won't be launching it for like 3 to 6 months later. So if you're interested, go ahead, click that link below. Hopefully you haven't missed the boat. And if the page is up, then you're in luck. You might be able to join. If it's not, just sign up for the wait list. So we have your name on the email, and then when we launch it, you'll find out. That's it, guys. This is Kazi. I love your face, and as always, I'll see you, your beautiful face, in the next video.